I'm Grace Way. I came here 3 years ago from the mainland with my father. The intention was to look after him. He was coming here for retirement. We was just going to do our own thing, build our own house, live off the land. When we left here in 1958, quite early age, we were living in that old house. Dad built it, all the material and everything, iron. He had to go by boat and bring it from over Thursday Island. Before I came back, the only jobs, employment here was at the council, and everyone was on the dole. And I came and I went on the dole myself. And fortnightly was we were looking forward for our mail coming in every fortnight for our paychecks. As a chair lady of St. Paul, I had the opportunity to express for the whole community what my father's intention, for live off the land, build our own houses, and being in this position, the whole community can develop. We don't have to wait for government help. We can do it ourselves, We started off with market gardening, then we looked at tourism, then we looked at small business management, and so far we've got chicken farm underway, and at the moment the boys are building a shed where they can put all their nets, and at this point of time we're looking at leasing a fishing vessel, and housing construction. See, at the moment we've got about 4 houses the people are building for themselves. One is mud brick, the local clay, and the family did it themselves with made the bricks themselves, and the other one's mud brick with mangroves and bloodwood, local timber, and the other one is a stone house with the local timbers here.
Well, here at St. Paul, they all go by the list, and there's only one house coming just a while ago, and it took them 6 weeks to put it up.
They wait long time to get it, you know.
And they wait a long time to get it. Another thing is when it's finished, they will be sorry, but they're going to pay the rent all their life. They're still not going to own the house.
How much, how long to build, how long is it to?
It's going to take them 6 weeks to put a house up. But today there's lots of people on the list and they couldn't get a house for a long time. So why sit and wait? Why can't you do like us? Get up and do something.
How long is it actually taking you now to build the house?
Well, this is our third year now.
Third year.
And it's just about finished.
Yeah, with more time we put only with, us four, Margaret and Patrick. Until last year, not last year, this year they start this CDP workers, and then they start to give us on, But it's already done, you should all the hard part gone.
I mean, we only 3 years, but we waiting for the dry season. We can work on the wet, we can wait for the dry season.
I think the self-help housing here at St. Paul is one of the best things that ever happened here, I think. People learn skills. You get skills, people come from outside and teach them. And it's one thing that we can stand up and do it ourselves in time to come in. Instead of just sit around and just wait for the government houses, And we got a lot of stuff out here that we can build a lot of houses. And I think it's very good self-help housing.
Do you have any criticisms of your own house in terms of design or how
I do, They just take the house here, bring it over and build it up without asking me what sort of house I like, I would like to design my own place and I like them to build the way I like it to be built. That's one thing, they just come and just build it and this there's your house. And you walk in, it's too late to complain or anything, Yeah, we can build houses, but just those old-fashioned houses, these mandrels and all that, that's where self-housing comes in. It's very, very good. You learn a lot of skills and I'll probably in time to come I may be able to build my own place, just by looking how they build up at Opson's place in Graces. I get the idea, then one day probably I can do the same,
At self-help housing, that came about, well, when Dad first came here, 86, the reason he wants to come back here was to start using local material. And because he wanted to do that, we didn't know how to go about it. 1986, and we came early 86, towards the end of 86, we had the women's workshop, and then we had Paul Ha, to the education department, he spoke to all the chairmen around the islands, and then he came to this workshop here. The ladies here at St. Paul, we host the workshop, and he was one of the guest speakers on self-help housing and how we can use local materials to cut down on cost and expense. And so when Father heard that, that was exactly what he wanted to use. So we asked Paul how to go about it. So because he had to go to another couple of other islands, he told us to make a model of what we wanted using cardboard, and we did that. So when he came back, Ned, my brother and myself, and so he was really wrapped with the idea. So he told us to write to these different people, and so we can get the loan to build the house. All Dad was asking for was, say, $10,000 loan. So in the meantime, we went to ADC in TI, Dad and myself, and asked if we can get a loan from them for $10,000. And apparently they said they haven't got a scheme like that to give us a loan. So we wrote to every politician we can think of and everyone and say, you know, ADC is here to help us, and yet we go for help, there's nothing there, and all we're asking for was $10,000 to build our own house. The labor and everything is ours, you know. And anyway, they eventually they said they have to have a special meeting to look into the policy, and which they did, and they sort of changed it. They had it in Townsville, so the answer came back saying we could have the loan, but not to us. It had to come through council. It's a grant through to the council, and then the council give us the loan. So out of that, not only Dad got the benefit, Uncle Hobson and Willem. So they wanted that way too. So that's how the three houses. Instead of 10,000, we got 20,000 each. So and that's how we started. The thing is, because we design our own house and we work on it, it gives us more satisfaction. And as we go along, we sort of changed. You know, the original plan is not the original as we go along. You know, and the people that are helping us, the volunteer helpers, you know, help us to change it around to the way that we want it. So the thing is, instead of we got more out of it, and working with people coming in and help us. And it only cost us 20,000 compared to the government ones, which is 120,000. So we could pay it off and enjoy living in there.
This here, this is mud brick. It took us about 9 months to make 8,000 mud brick for the house. And here we make, this is the floor. Later on I will put some yellow dye and the red around it, make it like a flame. We've been trying to work right through Sunday and all, which we shouldn't, but we try to finish the house to come on this date when we shift into September.
My fingers, that's from the bricks. My fingernails all bad from the bricks. But I love it, you know. It's good fun working. It's all got all natural wood, and I think it's strong and it's look beautiful, you know. Just natural wood, natural things from the island. Government house, you know, they put it up in 3.5 weeks, and I mean, you pay rent for life, and by the time 2 or 3 years they rot. So I think I stick to this kind of house.
My name is Hobson, and this is Hobson Choice.